I stay focused on the children because Frederick Douglass said it is much easier to create strong children than it is to repair broken men.
I've learned a lot of things from Japan, and one of the most important things I've learned is how seriously they take young childhood. So these are pictures from Shichigo-san Day. As you can see, the children are formally dressed. It's a day where you take formal pictures and the children wear formal clothing and they visit a shrine, and it's a day to not only pray for the health of children, and as 357 days, so it's for generally for all 3-year-old children, for 5-year-old boys, and for 7-year-old girls, where you visit the temple and then afterwards you go eat a formal meal or something like that to celebrate the day. And you take pictures, and those pictures you decorate around your house as a way of celebrating, your family and healthy children. I have noticed here that there's some rituals around the early years of children, one of which is when children are first born, you'll have the mother of the wife will come and take your wife or it would be your wife, because generally speaking, it's not going to be your girlfriend, and they will go to the mother's house. She'll go to her actual house where she grew up, and for 2 or 3 weeks, the grandmother will teach the mother of the newborn baby how to wash the child, how to feed the child. And for a 2-week period, it's a mentorship of how to actually do the child rearing of a baby. And it is a fascinating thing to witness and experience, because it shows you just how important that first couple of weeks are deemed as in a country like Japan.
It is much easier to create strong children than it is to repair broken men.
These are single parent-led homes from 1970s, and you can see there's a sharp increase. That would be 7,450,000 in 1970, and then you see it raise sharply in the 1980s to 11.4 million, 13.8 million in 1990, 16.4 million, and these are just for mothers. I'm reading. If you add them together, that would be 19 million, that would be 20 million. And so this is the number of children that are living in single parent led homes, and you see it kind of levels off. So it's pretty much about 20 million for the duration of the 2000s, right? 18 million, 19 million-ish. So that's a good number of children that we have. And of course you can see 2022, the number there, 15.7 million children and 3.4 million children for fathers only. And put those together, it'd be about 20 million even, or 19 million even. And you can see how many children are growing in single mother-led homes. That it is a good 5 times as many as are living in single father-led homes. If you are a Gen Xer like myself, you have seen a correlation with the way society has changed. So I went back to 1987 to find the most impartial stats that I could, and these are from the United States Department of Justice. They surveyed both juvenile offenders and offenders that were incarcerated over 18 years old. And you can see percentage for over 18 is 35% with both parents, and under 18 it was 27.8% for both parents, averaging at 29%. And for the mother only, 48% total, 50% for the kids that were juvenile offenders, and 43% for above 18-year-old offenders. And you see for fathers only, it's in the single digits. And so you can see that there is a pretty clear correlation. And this is, remember, this is from the 1980s. So this would be a good 40 years ago. And of course, the most important stat in the study was about 70% of juveniles and young adults did not live with both parents while they were growing up. More than half, 54%, reportedly having primarily lived in single parent homes. If you look at the stats, it's pretty clear that having children grow up in homes with both parents is extremely important. It is possibly the most important benefactor to whether you're going to have successful kids or not.
It is much easier to create strong children than it is to repair broken men.
So that leads me to this Latifah clip. And we have come to think, if we can get our children in a nice area, going to nicer schools, and we can buy the things for them that make them, I don't know, happy or whatever, we've done our job as a parent. And this clip from Ali is going to explain from his experience why that's just not the case.
So 2 points. First one is, today's women are going to work for another man, so they don't have to work for their man just to pay another woman to take care of their kids. I didn't finish. I didn't finish. Just to go pay another woman to take care of their kids.
Now, that's one really good important point, is if you're going to start a family, there's no rule that you have to live wealthy, high on the hog while you have one parent at home with the children. If you plan your children, you can make adjustments to say, well, father's going to work X more hours, or we're going to save some money here, and we're going to cut some corners to make sure that we give our children or our child the best first 2, 3, 4 years possible.
I was in mental health for 15 years. Me and my brother have a mental health business in Minnesota. Do you know what the increased amount of kids that's being in mental health now? There's kids that don't have parents, and there's kids that have parents that have everything and don't know no value about family.
And that is a very important point. I honestly do believe the biggest sin that can be committed is to break up your family when you have small children. If you are in a situation where you vetted your husband correctly and you have someone who's not doing crazy stuff, and maybe there are some improprieties, you can be in a situation where you sleep in separate rooms. You minimize contact, but in that situation, you keep as much continuity as possible so that those young kids can understand what family is, and then you could work something out down the road, as opposed to mom's feeling or dad's feelings are paramount while you have a 2-year-old in their most formative years trying to figure out what family is.
Those kids just want to be touched. They want to be held. They want to be kissed. It's so bad that they create they're acting out because they want attention. So negative attention is better than no attention. They don't want to read anymore. They don't want to play with no gadgets. They don't want no technology. They don't want no money. They don't want any of that. They want a family. They want their mother and father to be attentive to them.
That is my point precisely. I think a lot of passport bros are looking for people, women, who still have those values, that if we get 2 or 3 young kids together, what's going to be more important than anything is not breaking that up. In my opinion, that is, I wouldn't call it an unforgivable sin, but from the child's perspective, that is the most difficult thing to overcome. If father is out doing improprieties or mother's out doing improprieties, a 2-year-old's not going to know unless somebody tells them. But a 2-year-old will know if they can barely see one of their parents, or if they can never see one of their parents.
You know how they recover real fast? Another adult gets around them, typically a man, gets into their life and loves them and supports them, hugs them, touches them, and their behaviors turn over drastically. But they're being neglected by their parents. Either they don't have parents, or they have 2 parents that give them everything but no affection and no love at all. They're too busy focusing on goals.
For a lot of people, they think that if I work a lot, if I throw my kids in daycare and I buy my kids everything that they want, I've done my job as a parent.
I stay focused on the children because Frederick Douglass said it is much easier to create strong children than it is to repair broken men.
I think what most passport bros are looking for is a woman who understands that outside of rare circumstances where there's physical danger or maybe even gambling or something where you're worried about having your money getting taken away or chemical dependency, outside of those kind of circumstances, find a way to keep this together. Not for your feelings, not for how you feel or your happiness, but because the first 5, 7, 8 years of your children's lives, they need family, they need stability, they need the contact of both parents. And if you can make that sacrifice, it makes you an optimal partner. If your happiness is most important, then we're already going to see in the stats, we see it around us in the way the world has changed. Children don't benefit most out of that. With that said, a lot of passport bros are just looking for women who value not just family, but those first 5, 6, 7 years and how important they are to those young children. Because when you think about time, you're going to have 5, 6 years where the kid really needs you. Then you're going to have another 5, 6 years where the kid kind of needs you. And then you're going to have 5 or 6 years where you're kind of guiding them before they leave the nest. And then you're right back to being a regular married couple. And if you can make that sacrifice properly, you can have not just healthy kids, but kids that are prepared to hit the world and make a mark on it in a very successful way. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.